Hey, there we are. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is, what day is today? Today is July 9th, 2019, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? So good to see you. Hey, Alka's here. Copper Beardy, hello, hello. Om Ganesh, an aspiring DevOps guru. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm starting to feel at home with the new layout. I'm feeling this. It's feeling like the right place to be. I don't know. It's like home. You need to get used to a new home before it feels like home. I've got my Diva hat on from Overwatch. I'm a big fan of the character Diva from Overwatch, and there wasn't a lot of Overwatch Diva play. There wasn't a lot of play. Folks playing Diva in this stage, third stage of the Overwatch League, and I was disappointed. I missed that so much. Come on. I may also be wearing it because of somebody has a preference to seeing me play as a rabbit in a game called Garden Paws that we've been enjoying on some other streams here on Twitch. That's been a lot of fun. Hey, Svava, what mischief? What mischief indeed?
Totes my goats.
Yeah. Totes my goats. We're going to figure out exactly what mischief we can get into today. Copper Beardy, thank you for calling that out. So I've got my Diva hat on. I've updated. I locked down on the charity that we're going to support this quarter with all of our cheers. There we go. Look at that. We got a host. Michael Jolly's rating us. Yes, and I turned on Capagen. Look at that. Big salute. Thank you so much. Yep, you can defend the channel. Absolutely. Thanks so much for the host, Michael Jolly. I appreciate that. Yeah, look at all that go flying by. I appreciate the raid. I've been working on raid video. I'm not done yet, but I'm working on it. Fairy Wings with the host. Thank you so much. I appreciate that as well. Really cool stuff to see all that. Another raid and defend for me tonight. There you go. So, good to see you. Alka's now hosting us. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the hosts. That is awesome stuff. So we turned on a little bit of Capagen so we get raids. You'll see all the motes go flying by my face. There's even more of those that are going to be available for subscriptions when we get into the next screen. You'll see that popping up. Let's see. So what else? So I was talking about Coder Dojo. So I wanted to make sure that we supported an organization. We supported with our cheers, with our subscriptions, an organization that would be international, that would reach beyond the borders of the United States. And I landed on Coder Dojo. They open schools. They have an organization all around the world where they're teaching folks how to write code. Doesn't matter if you're young or old, you can go and learn how to develop at the local Coder Dojo. And they've got organizations all over the world. They're based out of Ireland, and that's who we're going to support for the next 3 months. July, August, September. All of our subscriptions and our cheers will go to help the folks at Coder Dojo who are trying to reach out and help people in those places that need a little bit of technical influence. So that's who we're going to be supporting. Thanks so much. Some Highlander, hello. Good to see you. Michael Jolly, what were you working on over there? There we go. Look at that. We got a new subscription. Thanks so much for that. Who was that? It shouldn't have done that for a new follow. It should have done that only for a subscription. That's not how that's configured. That is Irish Ninjas. Yes, that's exactly what we're going to have is Irish Ninjas helping us out over there. Yeah, Stream Elements is not behaving properly. Hey, Sean, Sean's got some contributions here we're going to take a look at. Brave Cobra, hello. Good to see. I like the shout-outs from the various locations here. That's really cool to see. But for some reason, yeah, why am I getting... Followers should be turned off. They should not be getting Capagen interactions here. 1 second, because that's going to get really annoying when we get to... yeah, it's turned on for everything. I turned these off. Nope. Turning those all off over there. That should not work at all. Okay. That should be better. All right. Fixing a couple things in your bot, reviewing PRs to your VS Code extension. Nice. 12 contributors on that project. Oh, that's awesome. We've had some of the contributions on our projects drop off here over the last few months, and maybe we'll get them ramping back up here over the summer, I hope. DevLead, thanks so much for the resub. There's
just resubscribed for 11 months. Soon a yearversary C# heart.
Soon. Thanks so much for that, and we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo all this quarter. Thanks so much. I very much appreciate the subs. Yeah, look at the sub hype. Absolutely. My live... What's this? You were looking to start streaming. Can't find my OBS settings video anymore. Is that on YouTube? My live streaming, setup blog post is right there. Aspiring DevOps Guru has. There is one where I'm setting it up for the Visual Studio channel. And you can see it if you look for the Visual Studio channel on YouTube. 25 contributors on the Node package you maintain, TMI.js. Nice. That's really cool. Let's see here. So let me get some music playing here in the background, and we'll start talking about our project that we've been working on. I'm going back and we're going to work on the resource management, the employee scheduling application. I think this is a little bit more beginner level, that we can bring in some new folks and show them how to get started with C#, with ASP.NET, and really get used to some of the tools and technologies we use in this technology. So let's see. Let me start. What song should I play today? Let's play Cyan. Cyan's been a good one. I know a couple folks really like this song. There we go. Very cool. This is Cyan. This is from the Music to Code by from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. It's been scientifically designed. It's been engineered to get you in the groove, to get you in that state of flow, where everything kind of fades away and you get to focus on exactly what it is that you're working on. Whether it's writing code, doing homework, chores around the house, yard work like I do. It really helps to keep you focused on whatever the task is. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com. You can execute the music command in the chat room right over there. And you'll see the link if you need that. I'll fire it right now. There it is. Music to Code by popping up there. There it is. Check it out and get your copy for just a couple bucks. It's not too bad. And each one of these songs is about 30 minutes long, 25 minutes long. The same length as a Pomodoro. Listen to one song, take a break, grab a beverage, whatever you need to do, get up, walk around, and then start playing the song again and get re-engaged with whatever task it is that you might be working on. I really enjoy it, and thank you so much, Carl, for letting us listen to your music while we're writing some code together here today. All right, let me head over to the project. I want to make sure I'm showing the project out here first before I change scenes and head over there. There we go. Resource Management Project. This is out at fritz&friends/resource management on GitHub. Let's drop that into the mix here. So you can see that in the chat room. Now, what's really great about this project is I've put it out on the Fritz and Friends organization so that anybody can get to it, anybody can fork it and start working on it. You don't have to worry about committing it back into me, per se. And some folks have submitted some pull requests. This is an open source project for a nonprofit. It's originally designed for Sebastian Writing Associates. That's a nonprofit stables that it teaches kids, adults who need a little bit of equine therapy, whether they're physically impaired, they have a physical disability, or they've got something going on, some tragedy that, a little bit of equine therapy helps them out. They can head over here and get to spend time with horses, learning all about horsemanship. So really great organization, and they need some help scheduling their volunteers. And that's what we're building here, is a little application to help them capture volunteer schedules and see when they can schedule classes, and that's the piece we're going to work on tonight. We've already worked on a little bit around creating their availability, but we're going to take a look tonight at generating that report that says, okay, over this week, what are the times that we have people available that we can schedule classes? Or, right, what are the times that we don't have people available and we shouldn't schedule classes? So how do we generate that report? What does that cross-employee report look like? And I think that'll be our focus tonight, is to build that report. You with me, chat room? So we're going to be writing a little bit of C# to extract that data. We're going to be writing some HTML and some CSS to make it look good, right? Because, you know what? I need that Fernando quote. It is better to look good than to feel good. Right? Brave Cobra says, you like the new bottom bar. You like the new bottom bar here? A little bit simpler, a little bit cleaner, a lot cleaner. And the top bar is nice and simple. We don't have the chat hanging here all the time. This way, as chat goes by, folks aren't distracted by it. And we're focused a little bit more on the project that we're working on. I've also thought about sliding the background, the screen here, push it over to that side so that I'm not sitting in front of anything. But I feel like that would be off balance, you know? So I got to figure that one out. I want to make sure I also call out, we have a follower goal. We're trying to get to 8,000 followers before September 15th. If we can get to 8,000 followers before September 15th, I can say that really well. I will dye my beard rainbow for the full week there of .NET Conf and TwitchCon. .NET Conf is a complete virtual online conference that we're taking submissions for right now. If you're interested in presenting live here on Twitch, live as part of a Microsoft event, official Microsoft event, submit a presentation at the call for content at .NET Conf. I should call that out. I should actually show you what that site looks like. Where did my mouse go? There it is. At .NETconf.com. Come on. There it is. And .NET Core 3 will be launching at .NET Conf. This is big. You can subscribe for notifications, and if you're interested in speaking, you can click through here and submit to be a speaker as part of .NET Conf 2019. It's 24 hours long, so all of our sessions you'll be able to see live in your own time zone. So really great stuff. You got about a month left to submit if you're interested in being a part of this event. Now, I showed you this website because I've got something else. I've got a special edition. I've got something really cool to show you. Oh no, No, it's not working. I've got something really cool to show you. Tomorrow, we've got Javier Lozano is going to join us for a special edition at my normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. What is that? 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC. Javier is going to join us, and we're going to talk through converting this website behind me to ASP.NET Core. We're going to convert it to, I think, to 2.2 is the version we're going to convert it to. And we're going to show you how to convert this from ASP.NET MVC 5, I think it is, to .NET Core 2.2. It's going to be great. It's that pair programming interaction that you've seen me do a number of times here. And we're going to go through. This is a question that a lot of folks have, you know, as they're building, as they're working on their existing applications. Well, gosh, how do I get that into ASP.NET Core? We're going to do it for you. We're going to show you exactly how to do it live right here on Twitch tomorrow. Thursday, we'll be back at my normal time, and we'll be talking more about this project, the resource management project, on Thursday. Friday, we're going to do a full day ASP.NET Core workshop. If you've got friends, if you've got colleagues that want to learn how to program with ASP.NET Core, if they know a little bit about web programming, they're not too familiar with it, but they want to take a dive in, and they want to be in Non-pressure situation. You're watching me live. Ask questions. Be ready for the weird sound effects. Things breaking. Making magic. All kinds of great stuff. Join us, ask questions, learn together. All the source code is going to be completely available to you. That's Friday, starting at 10 a.m. I hope you join me then. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I meant to call back. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. 1 second there. Unless I put something above my head, something other than hats. Right, as far as moving this back and forth. I think I need to keep it centered. Surly Devs asks, does anyone know how when I git clone resource management project, I get all branches, especially the dev branch? By default, it only gets master. Command line commands, please. So what you should do, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. I'm going to finish reading down here. Would you recommend ASP.NET MVC 5 anymore? No. At this point, building new projects, if you're building new projects, build ASP.NET Core projects. That's going to be the supported platform going forward. You're going to have a tremendous experience with it. Not to mention, you're going to get great performance with it. So you got to use MVC. Aspiring DevOps Guru, when you clone the repo, you should get everything. Probably just need a git checkout branch. We'll take a look at that in just a second. So JAF 1021, hello. For those of you who might remember, JAF 1021 is Mama C# Fritz. My father went in for a little bit of surgery today. I'm very happy to share. Not a problem. The big guy made it out just fine. Great to see you, Dad. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to call you before I went on the air here. I hope you're feeling well, and I'll talk to you later, I'm sure. Hey, Sushinator, things are going great. I'm happy. Hey, chat room, can we get a couple of emotes for Papa C# Fritz in the recovering from surgery? Can we drop some cool emotes in the chat room there for him, so that yes, absolutely, Surly Dev, I certainly do. Yeah, folks, can you drop a couple of emotes in there? There we go. Thanks so much, Copper Beardy. So, yeah, look at them flying by. Thank you. That's what I wanted people to be able to see. You drop a bunch of emotes in there, and they'll go flying by. Thank you. Oh, there's Cinnabar Spork. Yes, and there's Sean. Thank you. So, all right. So that's things I want to show about the Git checkout. When are you going to experiment with some gRPC? Asks Nilecrack. I think there's an opportunity for that coming up here in the next few weeks. It's definitely something we need to talk about. Some gRPC. Definitely something that we can do, thinking out loud, when I come back to the chatbot, because I think there's some great gRPC in there we can do. Oh my gosh, is that Code Rushed? That's a great emote for Mark. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. All right. There we go. Thank you, chat room. So, let me talk briefly about, well, how do you get a copy of this project so that you can work on it locally? The Millernator. Nice. All right. So how do you get a copy of the project so you can work on this locally? Okay? You don't click the edit button. First thing you should do is click the fork button up here. The fork button will get you a copy of this project in your own GitHub repository. I've already done that. What happens if I click that again? Yeah, see, I've already got it here. So here's my copy of this on GitHub that I can work with, right? So I've got my copy that's on my local workstation, and I've got a copy on GitHub. This copy here doesn't come with the same branches that are over on this repository, right? There's a couple of branches here, and I worry about that one. And, well, that's where we're working now, I believe, right? That's fine. I will delete. I'll work on branch management later. What I was trying to talk through is over here. We're going to look at the pull requests in just a minute. So what we were working through is how do I get a copy of this then locally? Particularly, the question was that dev branch where folks are working. So in my PowerShell over here, right here I am in the command line, I'm going to go into dev, I think it's just resource management is what I called it. There it is. So if you look at when I did, let's do it this way. I'm going to go up a branch and I'm going to create another resource management. Right, I'm going to click this just like you would do if you had just cloned, not that one. I'm sorry, my bad. Scratch that. You would click fork, you have your own copy of it. In your copy of it, that's the one you want to clone or download. You want to work in this version so that you're in a place where it's safe and your changes are backed up and you can submit those back to us with a pull request. So if I just call this, I'm going to call this one resource MGMT, just because it's almost the same. I'm going to git clone that, and I'm going to put a period here so it puts it into the current folder. And it did. See, it's in this folder with that master entry there. So now I can see here's the files there. Thank you from Papa Fritz. Feeling ever even better now. Thanks so much, chat room. I appreciate you with the shout outs there. Great to see you, Dad. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to give you a call. I'll be sure to reach out to you in a little bit here. All right. So, here's everything locally. If you look at the remotes with the git remote command, see, it has one by default here called origin, because that's where I cloned from. It's this C# Fritz resource management. But if you want a copy of the dev branch from the other location, you actually need to get what's called the upstream. So what I do is I go back to this, grab this URL here for the main repository, right? So I click the little copy button there. And what I will do is I'll do a git remote add upstream, paste that location in. And now when I look at my git remotes, it's got two of them. And if I give it a -v for verbose, you can see the origin is GitHub C# Fritz resource management, and the upstream is the other one. Good. All right. So now if I want to get the upstream one to work on in my local branch here, I would git checkout -b dev. So I have a dev branch now locally to work in. Git pull upstream dev. And that'll bring the upstream dev into this location that I'm in. So now if I git log, you see upstream dev matches this branch. Okay? So I hope that clears it up. I know that was you have an upstream remote defined for my repo. There you go. That's exactly the way that I do it. Makes it real easy then. You can't push upstream because that's protected. Only committers have access to that. But you can fetch those, merge them into your working branch that you're working on, and then push that up. I said and then. Push that up into your private GitHub instance, where you can then create the pull request, right? Your PR, so that you can share your changes with everybody. Now, speaking of sharing changes, I'm going to switch over here to the Fritz and Friends one, because we've got two pull requests that were submitted by our friend Sean here to highlight the date in the clicked month view, and another one here to more correctly position the day view appointment. I haven't looked at these pull requests. They've got check marks on them indicating that they've compiled properly. I think I've got compile wired up to this. Let's take a look, see. I think I do. Do I have Azure DevOps on this? One successful check. Yeah, I do have Azure DevOps. So it's compiling these and ensuring that they built properly. So we'll take a look at that. You confused yourself cloning directly from mine. I've done that too. When you clone from a clone instead of from the origin repository. Yes! I've made that mistake. Oh, thank you, Aspiring DevOps Guru. Glad that you understand a little bit. Let's see. DevLead says, adaptive cards would be a nice topic someday. Just listen to Matt Heidinger on the MS Dev Show. Cool tech that can do simple cross-platform UI for bots, phones, and desktop apps. It is a very cool technology. I struggle a little bit with exactly how it fits into things. I'd love to hear more about it, and maybe there's something we can do there. It might be fun to have Matt or somebody from his team join us and figure out how we can get that to play nicely with some of these things that we have here. I've always thought it'd be really cool to be able to build a plugin that sits inside of Cortana and in Windows so that it'll pop up with information for you depending on different things that you search for. Right, a good example might be Papa C# Fritz is he manages his retirement stock portfolio, so he wants to see, well, how are these ones doing today? If he was able to ask Cortana, hey, can you show me real quick what this is doing? It'd be great if it could pop it up with appropriate information from his portfolio, not just here's how this stock ticker is behaving. You have the fork and already have the upstream defined. Fantastic. Dash V is very handy. Good. Glad to hear it, Surly Dev. Hey, Chris Jones. With cake branches are even protected for committers. Yes. Yep, you can require pull requests and build status checks to merge into upstream. Yeah. Kind of force it to commit and go through a review process at that point. When people can push directly into a repository, there is no view, there is no review, and there's also, you don't end up with continuous integration, doing a check and doing that unit test for you. And since Azure DevOps is free for open source projects to build with, why not? Why not? So I'm a big fan of that. There's even adaptive card renders for React and Flutter now. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Now you've got my attention. Okay. Adaptive cards might be something interesting for this project, actually. To be able to have some sort of a scheduling system and have it pop up for folks to say, oh, you have to work on this day. I don't know. Maybe there's a way. Sidranyi asks, how did I get the colors for the shell? You're talking about my terminal here. So this is the standard default terminal that comes with Windows. I just went properties and changed the colors here. The additional colors that you see coming through here for my Git log, this is because I'm using PoshGit. There's information about PoshGit. Don't know. Actually, hang on about that terminal statement. PoshGit is free for you to get. Where PoshGit? I used to have a URL for this. There we go. You can get PoshGit from here. There you go. I tried getting terminal from the store, the new Windows terminal from the store. I got the latest Windows. I grabbed the Windows terminal from the store. I'm not thrilled with it. As a presentation mechanism, it's not there yet. Definitely needs a little bit of help. It wasn't something that I had a lot of time to tinker with, but there's definitely good things coming with it. I'm excited to see what happens. It's not there for me personally yet. It's coming, but I'm not ready. Choco install PoshGit will do it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, what do you think of the new UI? Very nice and clean. Thank you, Sushinator. Thank you very much. It's on the PowerShell gallery. You can install module. Yes. Take care, Chris. Great to see you. Brett Miller. Adaptive cards are cool. Send them to Windows 10. Think they're supported as part of Toast notifications. Yes, I think that's right. Microsoft Teams, Windows Timeline, Task View. Yep. I'd love to do some things with Teams also. But the challenge I have with Microsoft Teams is it's a very closed ecosystem. You really need to be part of that ecosystem. Users need to be part of that ecosystem. There isn't a public Teams yet. It'd be great if there was something. I know a lot of people have been asking for it, but there currently is no public Teams. So it'd be great if there is a way to invite people into your Teams instance who aren't part of your organization. But it's not there where you can just have a public Teams like Slack or Discord yet. There's a free version now. There's a free version of Teams? No. There is? I didn't know this. Microsoft Teams for free. Teams Freemium. Well, what do you know? I didn't know they made that. Okay, so it's not as closed. It doesn't integrate with OneDrive. 300 maximum users. That's not bad. Okay, but you can start integrating for as low as $5 a month. That's pretty good. With an annual commitment. Okay. Channel meetings, screen sharing. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I really like it. I'm half tempted. No. I'm really into Discord right now for all that stuff. There is a Teams freemium. There we go. I didn't know they did that. Very cool. But I am very entrenched with Discord at this point. So I'm not sure I want to make a change to Teams for the channel. It's very cool. I use Teams a lot during the day. Derailing me? What? What?
Squirrel.
It's alright. Don't worry about it. Nah, Teams is pretty good. The big problem I have with Bot Framework. Bot Framework looks cool. The big problem I have with it is you are extremely constrained to what you can publish and interact with. You cannot use Bot Framework for Discord, for Twitch. You can't even use it for Mixer. So, yeah. It's, there's a lot that'd be great you could do with it, but the places that people want to build text bots for, they don't support. I don't know many people that want a text bot for Skype, but a lot of people want text bots for chat bots for Mixer and Twitch and all these other online stuff. So online interactions. So it's like, come on. Let's take a look. What Sean has for us here is, this is an update. Need to highlight the date clicked in the month view. So this is, let me show you what the application does right now. And we'll take a look at Sean's update here because we had a little bit of a bug that we had. What the heck just happened? All of a sudden everything ground to a halt. Weird. Is Scott Goo online now? No. Drop frames? Yeah. I didn't drop any frames. Just the machine just stopped. Everything stopped for a second. And I don't know why. Alright, so here's the application starting. I'm using the latest Canary version of what is this? Of Edge, right? Which allows me to do this again. There was a bug that came from the Chromium plugin that forced everything to be always on top. So you can see I am using the very latest 7702.14.1 Canary, right? This is the latest public version that's available. Very preview. And I have an availability view here. Since I'm logged in, I can see, well, here's my availability. Here's the current date. It's highlighted here with a little square around it. And it's not bad. I've got a little bit of cleanup that we can do here to make the data entry nicer. We've got a little bit of an issue around data entry with Entity Framework. Entity Framework from ASP.NET Core 3 Preview 5 to Preview 6 broke compatibility with our database provider. So we cannot update to Preview 6 because we will not get Entity Framework. That's a problem. Or maybe we can and we can force Entity Framework back to Preview 5. Wonder if we can do something with that. Killer bunnies. Hey, yes, Carrie Payette. Hello. It's good to see you.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when she's part of our team. Nope, I had the hiccup Sushinator is what that one was. is that Payemi? Payami? Let me know how to pronounce your name. Thank you. Yes, I am using .NET Technologies. Absolutely.
Welcome at Payet.
There we go. Absolutely. So, yes, the emotes are coming up with CappaGen, and subscriptions will trigger a little fountain here in front of my face if you want to, for new folks that subscribe. So we've turned on CappaGen to have a little bit of fun. Oh, here comes the bits. Here comes the cheering. And I'll make sure that we track that 401 bits. Thank you so much. We're going to make a donation to Coder Dojo so they can continue to build training facilities all over the world so folks anywhere can learn how to write code. You can just call me, call you P? Okay. Is that Payam? However you'd like. Payam? P? Great to see you. Thanks so much. Carrie with the 200 bits. Oh my goodness. I've got to pull this down just a smidge. I think. Yeah, I topped out the mixer there just a smidge. All right. Yeah, see, the emotes will go flying by. Coder Dojo, also known as the Leprechaun Ninjas. Oh my goodness. All right, so the Michael Jolly. 401, and Carrie did 200. When we get into our code here, we'll log some of that stuff so that folks, the next level. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Very nice. Coder Dojo near me on a Saturday morning does great things. Oh, that's awesome. Brett Miller IT. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. I think they do great things. I love seeing places that'll encourage and help other folks learn.
Back of the line at Payet.
Thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh. 300 bits more, another contribution to Coder Dojo this quarter. So this is the way it looks. The bug that we had opened here was... Oh my goodness. Thank you for another 400 bits. Oh my goodness. That is tremendous. Thank you very much for that. The month view that we're showing here, we click on one of these days and it'll show us that date's information down here in the little day view. But we need to somehow highlight that so that you know exactly which day is being shown down here. It says selected date is, but it'd be nice if we showed that. This is today, the little red square. See? Today. It's got the little tooltip. But it'd be nice if we clicked and it showed us what that is. So Sean put together a quick solution on this that says active class is added to the span element on the date picker component when click is requested in this issue. So let's take a quick look-see here. Oh, did I miss a div? Oh, Sean, did I miss a div? Oh.
A Douglas monkey could do your job.
Len! Come on! It's a div! Len Grossman, my producer. Getting on my case over here. Day picker razor, so span class at selected. Okay, so at selected this right here. This day equals selected date. Okay, so it'll drop an active entry in there in our schedule CSS. We're putting a solid orange border. Ah, I like that. Gritty likes that orange border there. Hey, Vex! Good to see you. That's VexFX. Another one of the live coders, just like Carrie and Michael Jolly. Great to see you. And Alka was here a little bit earlier in the chat room. Yes, you like the hat? You like the Diva? I was disappointed. There wasn't as much Diva play this stage in the Overwatch League, and we've been playing a little bit of Garden Paws, and they like me being a rabbit in Garden Paws. I'm doing fantastic. I'm a big fan of the Diva character. She's not a diva, but she has this huge mech, and she's an awesome tank. She's great at kind of defending the front lines in battle. So this looks great. I can bring this down locally. So we were talking about a little bit of how do you get started with this stuff in Git earlier. When I want to take a look, and you can do this too, if you want to inspect a pull request, try it out yourself. You can click these command line instructions. and copy out the commands for how to merge these if you want to see what this looks like on your machine. So I can just copy those. I'm going to stop the debugger over here, jump back to my command line, because the command line is like the way that everybody, it's the great equalizer everybody uses to view everything here in, I'm in the wrong folder. I am sorry. I'm going to remove resource MGMT. No, not remote. Yes, goodbye. You're kidding. Cannot be removed because it is... I know, I told you to remove it. When in doubt... That's better. Alright, so I'm going to go back over to resource management. Now I'll execute those commands and we'll get Sean's changes. I've got a small conflict. Well, I'm in the wrong... I'm in the wrong folder. Reset hard. That's better. Let me go over to my dev branch. Let me pull the upstream version. Dev. Thank you. Now I'll paste in, I'll get Sean's changes. There we go. Which still looks like a lot. A lot more than it said was changed. But I should be able to try this now and see those changes. It was in the feature branch. It was. Oh, rats. And I clicked the button already. We should be alright. We should be alright. And you play on PC. I do.
Just resubscribed for 5 months. You're awesome, Fritz.
Thank you so much for that, Zoltra Lord. I really appreciate the resub. 5 months. That's tremendous. Thank you for the kind words, and we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo. Very cool stuff. Thank you very, very much. So we'll click through the availability, and yeah, see, it's I'm not on the right branch here, so nothing looks right. Rats. Stop that. Let me... I don't want to be on... Yeah. Let me check out the feature branch. Now do bring in Sean's changes. And I have a small conflict here because of the stuff that I've been working on. If we take a look, the availability has changed. Availability.razor here. So this should be merged and I should see... There it is. Yeah, it's that extra div. Get rid of that one. Move these over. Get rid of that. I think we're okay then, right? So that's that one. That's that one. Yeah, I've got an extra one in here now. Yeah, we're okay. Alright. I think. Yeah, the emote fountain, you like that? Haha. Alright, now it should look right. I hope. Should join us for Overwatch some night then. Sure, Vex, that'd be cool. Absolutely. I've never played with a group on Overwatch. I've played solo, and I've played on... so I've played a lot of the offline stuff, but... which means I'm not very good. Come on. There we go. Alright, so selected date is 7/9, so if I select somewhere else... There we go. So we get a little active flag, and it shows us appropriately here exactly what's selected. Fantastic. I like that. It's a simple fix, and it makes it just look nice and puts that little bit of polish on that we need here. Thank you so much, Sean. So I'm going to merge that request. Yep. Thank you for helping out. Really appreciate the polish on the application. It's great stuff. It's just a little bit and makes things better. So I will go over to, where is it? To the bug, make sure, yep, so that's merged, and I will close the issue. Fantastic. There's another pull request here from Sean to make sure that day view appointments are positioned correctly in the day view appointment. All right. So, hey, Rambling Geek, you like the layout? Yeah. I like it too. So, I've got a little bit of a mess here. Let's reset that. Okay. Let's look at my branches. I'm going to nuke my local dev branch. And I'm going to get rid of the other branch from Sean. Cool. Love the emotes. Look at them go flying by. See that? Let me get rid of my dev branch. And then let me... Oh, I said it. Git checkout master checkout dev, right? Git pull origin dev. Cool. Okay. So let me go back over to the feature branch. Now, what I should be able to do is pull upstream feature schedule UI. Now I've got Sean's changes, except for, right, here's my merge that I had to fix right there. And it looks like I had this correct in my local branch, but not out in the main branch. So if I say git status, I'll add that one. Merged. Let's go! Oh, it's going to ask me to sign it. Yeah, I see the smiley. There we go. Alright, so now I can push that. Now that goes to my local, my private repository on GitHub. It's late there. Take care, Copperbeardy. Thanks so much for stopping in. Yeah. Alright. So now I'm going to take a look here what Sean has for us. I had applied an issue 16 fix for the positioning issues for appointments in the dev day. So it doesn't line up quite right here. I need a way to know the time span the schedule is visually showing the user. I added a day view start and day view end property to the component. Nice. Both are currently hard-coded 8 to 8. Yeah, that's... For this organization, that's appropriate. The organization that we're building the application for. Slightly changed how the day view outputs CSS grid in HTML. In order to use the grid row start CSS property for a schedule item, I needed to make sure the grid cells underneath did not move when an item was positioned over it. Good point. Neville from Uganda, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. And I look forward to seeing you in the chat room, Neville. Thank you. Okay. So the starting position of a schedule item is... this would make calculating the starting minute of the schedule item much easier. Nice. Okay. Every cell in the grid needed a grid column property. Okay. The starting position of a schedule item is calculated to the minute and displayed accordingly. The height of the box is now calculated by the duration in minutes, and row gaps are then accounted for. Ah. The schedule item is not allowed to have a height higher than the day view. Nice. That's a problem that I'm glad we got solved here, Sean. Okay. You've added graphical representation when a schedule item goes beyond the start time of a day view. Items that start before 8 a.m. have an open border and a closed border when starting at 8 a.m. Okay. All right. I get it. Good call. All the calculations are currently hard-coded in EMS. Well, in EMs. Right? EMs, that's the height of a uppercase M. It may not be as responsive as I would like, but it works. We can make it better later. Yes. Oh, fantastic. So if we take a look at this change, so I'll copy this. We'll try this one more time without me screwing everything up here. Yes, look, I've got conflicts again. Where are the conflicts? In that same file and in the day view. All right, so let's go back over here to it's doing that same thing with the div. I tell you. You'd think it'd learn a thing or two. All right. I don't see it anywhere else. Good. The other one was in the right. Was in day view is the name of this component. We're using Blazor components here, so this will look a little bit different. See, now why didn't I just merge that and say, well, here, look, I've got another line to add. That's fine. Okay, so we got another injected object here, the expanded schedule. I'm sorry, the my schedule state is what's being injected. That should be a thing. Right, nothing else down here. Good. All right. So why doesn't it like expanded schedule is where? Private data expanded schedule. Yeah. Why doesn't it know what that is? Oh, are you kidding? There we go. What do we got here? That's the only place. Didn't we define the expanded schedule somewhere as an object? Merging is never straightforward when streaming. No, it's always wrong. Right? We didn't create a class over here somewhere that was expanded schedule. Where the heck is it? I need to change that. There, that'll take care of it. Tough guy. Expanded schedule. It's got to be here somewhere. Where is it? That's the only place it's referenced. Oh, because we got rid of that. We got rid of that object. Okay. 1 a.m. there. Thanks so much for joining us, DevLead. I appreciate you tuning in. Talk to you later. Yeah, I got rid of it. Right? We simplified that, so we have this schedule state now instead of an expanded schedule. So, nice. Let's see what Sean's got for us, and then we'll say nice work. I don't doubt that it's nice work, but I want to see it working. Come on, start the thing. Here it comes. Da-da-da-da. There we go. My availability. And cool. So if I select one of these days where it goes all, there's something there. And I had some days back here where I went all day. There it is. Look at that. Nice. Nice. And if I have one of these days where I have, there it is. So there's 2 p.m. I've got a haircut scheduled. There's 2 of them. Blazor class at 9 a.m., 2 p.m. Fantastic. That looks really good. Yes. Awesome work, Sean. That's great stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to git checkout. See, I'm going to have to do the same merge. Oh my gosh, James Montemagno. Here comes the raid. Right? We raiding? Yeah, 25 viewers heading over here. Thank you so much, James, for the raid. I really, really appreciate that. Welcome, raiders. My name is Jeff Fritz. And, hey, Clinton Rocksmith, thanks for the follow. And we're working with a little Blazor in ASP.NET Core 3.0. We're writing some C#. We're building an application here. Thank you for the resub, James.
James Monty Magno just resubscribed for 9 months. Raid.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Peaceful raid? I don't know. Aren't they peaceful? And that'll put you into a green hat, James. Thanks so much. Oh, my gosh. Here comes Ahmed Abdullah. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, look at the emotes go flying by. Cutting edge app. Absolutely. Clinton. 1,500. Oh my gosh, that puts you right at the top of the cheer leaderboard. I got to record that. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that cheer. All of our cheers, all of our subs, we are going to, as always, we're going to donate to a different tech charity. In this quarter, we're going to be donating to
James Monty Magno just gifted 1 subs.
And I went to Stormfist68. Congratulations, you just got a sub. We're gonna donate to Coder Dojo. They're building training facilities for folks to learn all about technology everywhere in the world. Thank you so much, James, for the subs, and Clinton Rock Smith for that very kind cheer. And we're still keeping up with our Bits for Bytes. Michael Jolly, Robert Tables, we're going to be inviting them to join us for a live coding stream soon. Carrie Payette, she's got 2 that I owe her, but whoever has the most cheers at the end of the month, we're going to make sure we invite to join us live for a pair programming stream. Very generous. Yes, Lashlin, absolutely. Monty Magno. I know, isn't that funny? Bayami, absolutely. I agree with the Pog champ there. All right, let me get reset here. So let me check out the feature branch, and so we're gonna build this little bit here that does employee scheduling. I know James has been working on that ASP.NET Core website for the community stand-ups, showing all the videos that are going on there and all the links and stuff. It's a really great effort, good stuff over there that James has been working on. I have a project I've been working on that we might be able to contribute to that effort. There's something there that I think might make it a little bit more interesting. So I'll talk to you offline about that. So I want to merge in. I want to see. Well, we did see what this looks like. So I'm going to merge in the changes here. I'll confirm that merge from Sean. Thanks for this fix. Really great work. I would have been all thumbs with that CSS trying to get that to work. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to go over to issue 16 and make sure that this is closed. Look at the emotes. The love emotes go flying by. Absolutely. There we go. Close it up. One more issue fixed. All right. Epic. Thank you. Buy yourself today. I know that John Galloway.
Houston, we have a problem.
He ditched us. He took some vacation. That's fine. All right, so now I'm going to do the same git pull upstream so that I get the features that Sean submitted, and this is going to, give me that same merge conflict again. Drat. So if I get status here, there it is. Dayview Razor right there. We'll fix that because that doesn't exist. Okay, that was the only change that needed to be made here. So I will git add that one file. Merged. I don't care because it's going to go away when we merge up this branch. I really need to get my hands on a Yuba key. So I'm going to push that up so I have this backed up. Gavin, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. And I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Why do the duckies not fly for you? There's a limit to how many emotes can go by at a time. I limited it so that we weren't just constantly flying by with all the things. Ultramark asks, do I think it's important to sign my commits? So because I have, because I'm streaming, I want you to, if you download one of my projects, I want you to be assured that the code was written by me on stream, and that you've seen that stuff. Hey Gavin's asking, why am I doing the commit and all this in the terminal? I'm a long-time command line user, and it makes me happy to use the command line. So, some folks might say that I'm an elite developer. But not really. I just like working at the command line. Looks amazing, so I can learn the terminal then and beef up your game. Yeah. You don't have to, you're not committed to using the source control features in Visual Studio Code or GitKraken or whatever other tool. You can use those tools, and they're great tools.
Woo!
But you can also work here on the command line, and this will work whether you're working here in Windows or you're secure shelled into a Unix environment or a Linux environment. You'll always have the command line available to you when those user interfaces aren't available. And the user interfaces are great. More power to you. If you enjoy them, go ahead and use them. I like doing it here at the command line because I'm old-fashioned like that. I get it. The new Windows terminal is so cool. It's not there for me yet. For me, for how I use Windows terminal, it's not there yet. Adjust for row gaps. Nice. I like that, seeing that there. All right. So, we've got all of our views updated. We've got the application. It kind of looks nice. It feels nice. And now I want to build that way to report availability across my employees. Thanks so much for... Who was that with the latest follow? Remixer93. Thanks so much for that follow. Oh my gosh.
Smith just gifted 10 subs.
You're throwing all these emotes at my face here, Clinton. Oh my goodness. 10 subs! Holy crow. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Clinton. We're going to make donations to Coder Dojo for that. 10 subs. We're gonna see subs go to Wheelchair Sean, M. Martinex, Eternal Dev Coder, Asynxus, Desert Griffin, Code Phobia, Jiayang, Namazri, and KJ Cad. Congratulations. You all just got gift subscriptions. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Clinton. I really appreciate the contribution to our community. Throwing emotes at my face like that. And yeah, we're going to make a bunch of donations there. And just like James does, we're going to put some cheer graffiti in here with the next block of code that we wrote for all the cheers, for the cheers that we've had so far on stream. Thank you so much. That was an amazing fountain. Yes, indeed. All the bots, all the and thens. How many and thens? Well, there's this one. That's what it sounded like as they flew by my face. You couldn't hear it. It was only in my headphones. But all I'm hearing is... And it was crazy. Thank you so much for that. Very generous. Yes, everybody enjoy it. And you're going to get the little blue gift box, a badge. There it comes. And watch, the and then emotes are going to go flying by on the screen. I should make the bot use the and then emote. That would be cool. Anyways, so the problem that we're trying to solve here today, the code we're going to write here today, and we've taken a long time, we've gone through how to use a little bit of Git, we've talked a little bit about merging in these pull requests from our friend Sean. Thank you so much, Sean. And we're going to see your name pop up on the crawl at the top of the screen for the commits into this project. Thank you very, very much for that. GitHub takes a while updating those statistics, so it probably won't show up right away, but we will see that pop up in just a little bit. Time to go. Oh, have a good one, James. Enjoy recording that podcast. All right. So we're building the feature now so we can see across employees and we can see where is everybody available. How can we look at all of their schedules and as a manager for our facility, make sure that we have enough employees, that we have enough people scheduled to work at the times that we want to schedule, in this case, classes. Okay? So that's our next component. That's our next view that we want to build here is, well, what's it look like to see everybody's availability at once, right? To be able to see, here's the total number of people available on this day and at this time that we need folks. Merge conflict stickers ready. Nice. Private 2Dog. Later. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Or are you saying bye to James? I can't tell. All right. So where do we want to build this? So everything inside this project is here inside of this resource management web folder here. Let me click off of that. Thank you. No, Siri, I wasn't talking to you. No, bad. Bad girl. Shoo. Sorry. Naughty phone. All right.
What's that?
Siri just answered me for some reason.
What's that?
She's just listening when she shouldn't have been. I don't know why.
You have to ask me nicely.
And she thought I was, and I didn't. All right. Moving on. So this project, right now, I just have that link to enter your availability on the front page. At some point, I'm going to need to put a little bit of authority behind that, a little authorization check to be able to say, well, are you allowed to view this page that's going to have not your personal availability here, but I want to show the schedule availability. I want to look at everybody's availability. Is that schedule availability? What do we call that? Yep, we're gonna need to put some authorization around that view. I know there's an authorized view object, but I can't use the new ASP.NET Core because I don't have Entity Framework. Should I take a minute? Should I take a minute and try and fix that? Here's the problem. All this stuff for Entity Framework Core, we're kind of locked on Preview 5 because Postgres is on Preview 5. If we want to advance this for ASP.NET Core to Preview 6, that has a lot of new Blazor features and identity stuff that integrates with Blazor, I need to break this. My concern is I'm going to break compatibility and I'm going to have a mess. I know Preview 7 is almost out, but it doesn't matter if I can't get to my database. If I can't get to my database, I don't care what user interface is available. It's broken. Right? I need to be able to get to the database, pure and simple. So it's a showstopper for me for this application. I can't do it. Can I crisscross those? I don't think I can. So there is no ASP.NET Core app reference here. You see my problem. I mean, I could try and fight with this a little bit and see if we can get it to go. That's going to be tricky. We didn't... Oh, do we change database providers? Ah. I really don't want to. I shouldn't have to change database providers to keep up with the framework version. What alternatives do you have instead of EF? ADO? There is no ADO on Preview 6. ADO is the ActiveX data objects. That was the previous data technology that was made available with .NET Framework. It was called ADO.NET. You found everything in the system.data namespace. But that doesn't exist in .NET Core. See, I'm really broken here if I try to move forward. And if I try to move forward, it's going to break all my pages. So I don't want to do it yet. Don't want to do it yet. Pip Daddy G, thank you for the follow. And I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to work around this. I'm going to keep working with the Preview 5. I'm not going to advance. There is no new Postgres package. No. I've been watching this package. Here. So if we go to NuGet and we search for that package, I'm using a bang notation here. See, it's still Preview 5.
Oh my.
I know. It's not ready yet. Last updated 2 months ago. So we can't use it. Yeah. So, I mean, Postgres users are dead in the water with this, which feels bad. Yeah, I'm going to stay where we are, and I'm going to continue building. This is going to be I believe it's what I called manager. Manager needs to be able to view the schedule and see how many employees are available. So let's call this manager view to start. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to create a page here called manager view. So let's add, this is it's a Razor page. Nope, just a plain old Razor page. Let me name it already. All right. Don't need a page model, and sure, we're going to use the layout page. We'll call this manager view. So they skip preview 2 so they could skip preview 6. I don't think so. Don't think so. I'm going to leave that open for now. Okay. Really? What's it doing here? Come on now. Oh, lots of new followers. We are at 6,794 followers. Look at it over there. Almost at 6,800. Oh my gosh, that'd be tremendous if we got there. Not yet. So I'm going to put an await in here. This is how we call into Blazor and say, hey, render some content here. And we're going to render a component. We'll call this manager schedule view, because I like to add nouns. Just add a noun to the thing. We've got another thing we need to add there. All right, put another noun on the end of it. What do you think? Is that going to work? Yeah.
You have to ask me nicely.
Fine, put another noun on the end there. Will you, Jack? Okay, sure. We'll go ahead and do that. So,
Right.
it works. Okay? It does. Trust me. So I'll add another component over here. Component isn't a thing on here. So let's see. New item. I want to add a Razor component. And this is, what did we call this? Manager schedule view. Manager schedule view. So the manager schedule view, I think we want to be able to look across like a week and be able to see folks' availability, right? So maybe we can use several of the day views, because this is that grid. Maybe we can put several of these next to each other and be able to pass the schedule state into those so that you can see the schedule. We'll have to change a little bit of the rendering here. So we've got some really great rendering here to calculate the positioning of the items. We might have to change that just a little bit so that we can get it to work. But maybe we can just say put a couple of these side by side and see what happens. What do you think, chat room? Huh? Huh? You know what I'm saying there?
They've gone to plaid.
They've completely left. They're gone. Hey, Smap. Yep, we've been up for an hour 18. We're doing good. Wait. What? What do you got, Gavin? Gavin's saying, wait. All right, let's see what Gavin has to say. What do you got? Help me out here. Did I just see C# used to manipulate CSS? Maybe. Maybe a lot of that. So check it out. This is Blazor. This is C# being used to, well, it's measuring the location of things, and the output of this is being used. It's not going to find it here. Not in the entire solution, in this file. There it is. But this is being rendered server side with this component. That's how I'm running this. And it'll show it, and it'll manipulate that. So, yep, this is called Blazor. These are components that are rendered either on the server or on the client using WebAssembly. So we'll get C# mixed with some markup, and it'll give you a really nice performance bump, whether it runs on the server or on the client. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So why can't it find that? Do I need a using statement? I do. I do need a using statement. So we'll put a using statement up top here. After the page. Cool. Let's put that in there. Now we've got this. Good. So now in my view of this, right? I've already got a H1 here. So let's call this schedule view. And if I did this right, can I just do... I can do the directive. And I can just say day view. Alright, in the day view, does it have a parameter coming in? Does not. It's going to be a good day then. Is it? Is it Ultramark? New to this, so it might be one stuff. Not a problem, Gavin. Not a problem. Still on hour 2. Hour 2 of... Don't worry. I'll be sure to explain this as we go along here. So... We're passing in, we're injecting the schedule state here. That's being injected from outside. Schedule state for someone right at this point is down here. And don't worry, I'm going to put the cheers in here in just a minute. There it is. Schedule state. So this is being passed in, yeah. So that we know the state of the schedule, and it's being in, where the heck am I now? Yeah, where's that being used? Oh my gosh. No. Day picker, it's being set somewhere. I forget how I did this. ASP.NET, yes it is. And we have a workshop that's available for that as well. This is, yeah, so this is my schedule that we're passing around. Rats, we're not going to be able to do that. It's almost like we need the day picker to play on top of the grid for the day. Right, we're doing this little bit of user interface work here. So we've got a day, day picker is a calendar, but the day view is a grid that has the hours next to it. Right? So if I have a way to just do this layout and somehow come back and inject the schedule on top of it, that gets a little bit more reusable. That gets to be something we can do something with. Right? And we'd then be able to see for a day, here's the number of folks that are available. If we make that layering of availability on top of the day grid a secondary task. Let's talk about this for just a second. So let me run the application so we can see what it looks like and talk this through, because chat room, I know you're watching my back, chat room. I know you're watching it. And I want to make sure that we have this built properly and we're at the right level of abstraction. So I want to talk this through. I want to make sure that I'm doing this right, and I know you've got my back. Woo! Yeah, woo indeed. So let's just take a quick look here and make sure that I'm not completely off my rocker. So here's where you key in your availability, and we need to clean up this user interface a little bit. It works. It's something that people could learn how to use. We've got the alignment here is a little crummy, but it works. This day grid here, 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. Sean did a great job aligning this, and it knows how to place items on the grid. If we can take, right, because if I click into these things, it knows where there's a thing, and it places that schedule item on it. And at 13:43, right, the proper 24-hour time for that, it starts actually right about where the 43rd minute of that 1 in the afternoon block is, and that's where it shows it. And if you zoom this, it still works, because like Sean did smartly, we're using the EM's CSS notation to measure the size of it, and it's always the right size, no matter how big and ugly I make this. Right? Look at that. Right? Now, my wife's grandparents, with their really thick glasses, they can see all this stuff, right? And if you've got it on a tablet, you want to make it nice and big so you can touch it with your finger. That type of stuff. Right? All right. So, if I can simplify this a little bit, if we can take this, just the grid here, and I've got a little today button that'll take me back to today. But if I can take the grid here, and we do a little bit of refactoring, right? Refactoring in software is where we get a chance to take something that we built once and we made it work, and we change the scope of it. We change a little bit of the features of it. We move the code around a little bit, but it still works the same way. With maybe an additional feature or two. We're going to do a little bit of refactoring, I think, to take this grid and make the grid a proper day view. And with the schedule laid on top of it, maybe we call it a day view schedule, so that you can see your schedule laid on top of it. Or maybe we even pull that out so that the schedule is being injected as a property. And if there is a schedule for that day that's been injected, it just renders it. And it knows how to render it. Well, now I want to pull that out separate. Or maybe we give it control of how to render it. Colors and that kind of thing. What do you think, chat room? Am I talking myself around in circles? Does this sound like the right way to go? To separate this out a little bit? I think it does. But you're like my conscience. You're like my Jiminy Cricket here sitting on my shoulder saying, oh, that's right, Jeff. You should be doing stuff like that. And I just saw somebody pop into the chat room with the coolest nickname. Let's see if they show up here. And they're feisty. And you know who you are. Do it, says Mr. Magoo. Yeah. It's what you were thinking when you were thinking about positioning. Okay. So let's do this. Love the Just Do It emote. Did it go by? Did the Just Do It emote go by? We should see it go by. Don't see the emote go by. Maybe it did. Maybe I'm just not paying attention. You ever think of that? So let's see if we can refactor this a little bit. So then, when we have our week presentation, we just put 7 of them next to each other. And that'll be cool. That'll be easy. That'll make life easier when we want to build that kind of view. Or if you want to build just the work week, Monday through Friday, you can just put 5 of them next to each other. And things are really good at that point. So let's see how we can refactor this just a little bit and have some fun with it. Let's see. So, the grid starts off, it takes a current time of 8 a.m. and goes across things here. Is that Mablay? Hello? Welcome. I thought there was a... There we go. My schedule states selected date at hours 8. So this is the day view start right there. So we're effectively saying this is from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. To sync things up, day view start here should be the current time. That didn't work. Day view start. So now we'll be able to iterate across this and start working on that so we get it synchronized across. So if we want to build a bigger grid, we'll be able to do that. For I less than 24. Why 24? Because it's 12 hours, that's why. We should change this. First time you're seeing Razor syntax. Looks frightening? No. Razor syntax is Razor template syntax, like we're seeing here, it's a mashup. It's a way for you to mix C# with markup in a way that a lot of folks in PHP already do, right? Except in PHP, right? They do this. Right? They do the old bee sting syntax so they can wrap, right? Or you're used to twig. There you go. Okay. So let's you flip into C# whenever you start with an @ sign. @ sign, you can put curly braces here to denote this is a block of C# code here, and we're just declaring a variable. We have a for loop here that we've written that is, because it starts with an @ sign, it's in C# that it's doing this. And the editor helps us. You see it put a little gray background behind that to tell us this is C# that's being executed here. And when it flips back to regular markup, we have no background behind it. It's just on the flat back. Flat black background.
Wow.
Yeah, easy for me to say. Whew. Yeah, I know. That is cool. Oh, thank you. Drolly asks, is there a reason why I have 2 sections back to back for C# code there? So I could... well, declaring a variable you have to put into a block statement. Can I get rid of that and go right into like this? Yeah, that works. And that's the end of that. That's the end of that for loop. And I need to add one more to close that loop. And you see it flips the background to show you where that statement closes. And it's not quite... There we go. And that should be lined up with the for loop. And, right? And if we really wanted to get nitpicky, that should be over. So it lines up with that. And this over here and that over there. And these should be indented like this. Right? So I've got a for loop with an if that says, well, if we're on the evens, we're going to output like this. We're outputting columns in this grid. So it is a little bit for readability. Can you put multiple statements in a block? There you go, Nile Crack. Yes, you can. Now, this 24 is the difference in the number of hours between day view start and day view end. So let's do that. Let's just calculate that out. Let's call it hours per day, right? And it was day view end, subtract day view start. And this is the way you do date math in .NET. It's available as part of the base class library, so I can reference those objects to do date math. And I want to return the hours between those, okay? Which will be, in this case, 12, because it's hard-coded. Is Razor Microsoft stuff or third-party? Razor is written by Microsoft, but it's completely open source, and it's donated to the .NET Foundation. Anybody can access it, anybody can change it, but the Microsoft team are the stewards of it. But they're happy to take pull requests. If it's something you'd like to fork, something you'd like to enhance, you're more than welcome to. It's MIT licensed, I believe. So there's my hours per day. So this I want to make hours per day times 2, which will be 24, and we're off and running. It's like the best of both. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's important to the Microsoft teams that that not just everything is open source, but that they're good stewards for the community. It's well known that software projects, software tools that are shared with the community, enabled to grow beyond just the maintainers, have a life of their own, and have a great... they're very well accessible to everybody, right? It's very inclusive when you take that type of approach, because anybody anywhere can use the tools, can use the features, and that's definitely part of the mission that the Microsoft team is trying to accomplish. Mike, hey, Malfunct, good to see you. Malfunct is here.
Everything is is awesome.
Now that Malfunct is here, everything is awesome. Like how the Microsoft Dev Division has put so much into open source. Tremendous amount into open source. Tremendous. And now you see the Windows folks with their own Linux kernel they're shipping as part of Windows subsystem for Linux. Their own Linux kernel. Open source or die? Not necessarily. I'm gonna say not necessarily with that because it's what open source brings is a sense of community to building a project, and not just community, but a very clear focus on your developers, on the folks who are going to use your product, and that attention is something that Microsoft lost. And the folks that did refocus and say, this is something that's important, that we do support our community, that we do support the folks who want to use our product, folks like
Scott!
and
Scott!
and not to mention
Scott!
all three of them. And it made a big difference. The community heard it loud and clear, and now the industry has heard it loud and clear. And by being open source, things like significantly improved performance have come to the .NET tools. Significant performance improvements. Visual Studio Code was written initially to help out folks that wanted to write .NET code on Mac and Linux. Well, guess what? Now it's not just .NET. Now it's JavaScript and Java. Oh, I said JavaScript. And it's, right, Rust and Go and TypeScript and all these great languages. That happened because of the open source drive from the developer division. And from those couple folks that started Python. There you go, there's a good one. That drove that. So, T and open source or death. Open source, please. Yes. Languages, libraries, and such. Absolutely. Languages being open source, I think, is a pretty big thing. And there were standards that were written around the languages. But now that the Roslyn compiler, the compiler for .NET, whether it's F#, Visual Basic, or C#, is completely free and open source, folks are learning a lot about language design. And they're being influenced by how some really smart people that work on those languages, that design those languages, are helping out other folks. It's great stuff to see. It's really exciting. So, Little Red Hat Book. Little Red Hat Book. I really like how Visual Studio Code is cross-platform. A number of retro computing hobby communities I participate in are starting to use its powerful features now that they're able to do it on the platforms they prefer. Amen to that. There's definitely something to be said for folks that, you know what, if you want to build something IoT, you want to build a little hobby project, to have access to those things is tremendous. Tremendous. Getting some neat build chains built on the platform. Yes, amen to that. Here's what I'm thinking of doing. I want to take this day view start and day view end. I want to make that something configurable for this. And the way that we do that is we make these parameters. And that's not a spell parameter. That is. This means that it can be passed in to this object as something that folks can define and use inside, from outside of the component. So I'm going to make this a auto property with a get set here, right? So this just says, you know what? Create some sort of storage location behind this. We're going to get and set everything. Go back to my previous location there, please. You're not going to go back for me, are you? Because when I click that back button on my mouse. And I'm going to set a default value here by having an initializer that says, there we go, there it is. My schedule state, selected date, add hours. Now, why doesn't it like that? Field initializer cannot reference blah, 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 blah. Well then. Then I'm going to say, what did it like? Non-static field, method, or property. Fine. Then what I will say is, date time, today, add hours, 8. So it starts at 8 a.m. We'll do the same thing with the day view end. We want to bump that out to 8 p.m. So let's put a get and a set on this. And we'll do the same type deal here so that we have a default value. So that even if nothing is specified, and this is a neat feature in C# that allows you to specify automatic property. You can get and set values for the day view end property, and we're going to default it to 8 p.m., 2000 hours. And because these are parameters, this means they can be injected where this is defined. So this day view razor view is actually used in our availability view. Check this out. Check this out. You're going to like this. You're going to love this. This is where we've created a directive. Those of you that haven't seen Blazor components like this, right? So there's my day view right there. That's where I'm calling it. I have my schedule, and I have my day picker. That's the calendar up at the top. And I have the day view. Check this out. Because I put those parameters on there, boom, day view start. And I could say that that is, well, it needs to be a date, right? It needs to be a date. So I can say, put it right here. Date time, today, add hours, 8. And that feels weird that it needs to be like that. But I can do the same thing now with, come here you go. Day view end, date time, today, add hours, 20. And I don't have to put those there, right? Because I have that default value, it'll automatically default to those things. How's it going, Adam? I'm adapting a comedy bit. Hopefully it isn't lost on everyone. Is that ow? I don't know. You have a computer issue. All right. A USB charger that was plugged into a desktop, put the charging end into a wall socket. Now the computer isn't turning on. You're gonna have some fun with this one. Don't know what to tell you with that. Good luck. That follower goal isn't counting right. That could be a big problem. Yeah, because you're sending a lot of power going the wrong way on that cable. I'm gonna get back into my code here. So, before I get too much further, down here, we're working right here around some of these things. I'm going to put our cheers in here from our friends, the Michael Jolly. So 701 from, spell it right, the Michael Jolly. And today's, what day is today again? I'm terrible with this. The 9th of July. Can you tell it's the summer? I don't even know what day it is. So we got a little cheer graffiti here. 1600 from Carrie. And we'll list that out. No. 7th. One more cheer, and this one is 1500 from Clinton Rock Smith. Thank you so much for all these very kind cheers. And we even wrote a little analyzer, a little code analyzer to go through and extract these so we can generate a little thank you page for our Git repositories. So that's got to be coming along soon. I need to work on that, maybe a little offline, so we can get these cheers properly thanked in our Git repositories. Okay, so I have these two parameters. The onInit has onSelected date changed from my schedule state. We're going to invoke state changed. Yeah. State has changed, which is... Oh no. Right, we're going to tell it refresh the screen. We're going to call onParameterSet here so that it refreshes and reloads things when the state has changed. So it'll go look at that schedule and repaint the screen is what it's going to do there. So my schedule state is being passed in up here. It's being injected. I don't want to inject it because it's not necessarily always going to be available for me. So maybe, right, my schedule state is here. What if I make that a parameter to pass in so that it's just available? So it's just there. Your older laptop is dying for age as it was your streaming PC, so you can't do dev streams. Oh, no. That's a shame. So let me go back over to DayView, and instead of my schedule state being injected by the dependency injection here, what if we change that and made it a parameter here? Right? What? Parameter. And we'll put it like that. And we'll put a get and a set on it so it's being passed into us. That should work. That should work. So now, with that being passed in... Oh, I've got an extra... Let's make sure that works and that I didn't break anything yet, right? We've done some refactoring. We've pushed some of these references around. Let's make sure it still looks and feels the same way. For those of you watching on the YouTube recording, chat room's talking through a little bit of this computer power issue that it sounds like somebody's having here, where child plugged the wrong end of plugged the USB cable into an AC, a power outlet in the on the wall, and PC isn't turning on anymore. So if I take a look at the availability, this should still render properly. Since we just moved some numbers around, it should still be the same. Or not. Maybe I broke it. Yep. So my schedule state doesn't exist. Oh, I'm not passing it in yet. Oh, Jeff. You're not passing it in yet. So over here in availability, I made that a parameter. So what I should be able to do is say my schedule state equals my schedule state and pass it in. Just send it in there. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Magoo. I didn't set it properly. Start the thing, do the stuff. Here we go. Yeah, you're gonna need to discharge that computer is what you gotta get to here. So now that object is being passed in, and hopefully... now we got it. All right. So we've got it still rendering, and it looks the same way. Good. All right. I'm pretty happy about that. So now I should be able to pass that schedule state object in from somewhere else, or maybe even not at all if I don't have one. So let's hit that next. Right? Hey, you, I told you to close. Go away. So let me go back to DayView. Right, so there was that check to see. Here you go. To put this event on here, I'm going to put a question mark in front of this. So it checks to see if that is null. It looks so much like React. No React here. Can only appear on the left side of plus or equals. Oh, you're not going to let me do that? You're not going to let me do that? I got to put a big old if statement around that? Ugh. If my schedule state, I wanted to have it do the null check here. If it does not equal null, right, I've got to do this now. Then do that thing. All right, so if a schedule was passed in and the selected date changes on that schedule, flip it. And that we're going to have something on that being passed in. It'll happen. So there's how we're going to display the item border style, insert row, item top position. Now, how we paint that item right now is very well fixed with a template right there. But we can do templates in Blazor also. So I think, before we get to building templates, I think the rest of this, as far as painting the user interface, is doing the right thing. It's doing the right job. This, we should be able to pull out as a template and be able to put it down. And a little bit of this for loop, we might be able to change. We might be able to clean up here and make work. Not necessarily doing a comparison, says Carrie, just trying to commit syntax to memory to learn it faster. Nice. Okay. So that if statement should work there. So if I go over to my manager schedule view, if I get a little crazy here, right? Can I just do this? And the day view, we need to pass in a day, right? What's the day that we're showing? Right? How do we know what day we're showing? We don't really say it here, do we? Maybe that's okay that we don't know the day. Ultramark says, I think I made a typo. Oh, I did. Thank you. Client? There we go. Got an extra E in there. Thank you, Ultramark. Selected date is my schedule state selected. And if my schedule state is null, yeah, that could be a problem. Let's get those lined up. So can we do this and say date time dot today? Can we do that? My schedule, return my schedule state. Is that, where's this being used? All right, can I shift F12 on that? Nope. That doesn't work yet. Control F. So, no. My schedule state, no. Okay, we're good there. Mario coin for you, Ultramark. Absolutely, let's get a Mario coin out there for Ultramark. Why didn't, come on. Play that faster. There we go, that's better. Latest subscribers overflowing the screen. No, the Masri's right up the edge. Right at the edge. It's purposely right aligned. It fits just to the width and it's right aligned. So, are templates like helpers? No. Templates are, remember we used to do templated columns in ASP.NET? It's that. So maybe we make selected date. Can we make that also a parameter? Maybe. Yeah, but it won't allow me to reference that. Yes, it is right aligned with 0 margin padding. Thank you, Stream Elements. I could improve that a little bit. I'm not going to change it right now, but I could do something. So let me see. I should be able to do like that and get 7 of them, right? Right? And we'll put a link to this. Managers view the schedule here, right? Ahref equals / where'd it go? Manager view. Right, so now that should be a thing. We should be able to see this. You see no chat anymore on screen. Absolutely. You like it, Smab? Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. But we need to get that sentiment back up. 68. Do the thing. Let's do it, Brave Cobra. I just looked up and saw the emote go flying by. So the availability view should still work. Right? Loading it out of the database. There it is. Good. Go back to the home page. Go back to the home page. It's not going back to the home page. Now I feel sad. That's because of how Blazor's interacting with this. Ooh, we're going to have to deal with that. There goes some hype. Thank you, Sean. All right. Let's look at the manager schedule view. Bummer. Yeah, so that's a big ol' null. So what if, can it be as easy as that? Right, will that just work? putting a question mark in there and say, well, if you got a thing here, iterate through it. Otherwise, fail. Maybe that'll work. Carrie trying to get the sentiment analysis up, and Janescu trying to get Suze's Barry the Sloth, right? You know, we have a sloth here, too. Thanks, Asyncsis. There's a sloth here in our chat room. Right? You know we have a sloth. We have the C# sloth. There he is. Right? We got that guy. Look at him all go flying by. Try that now. No, I tried to cheat and it didn't work. Oh well. So let's get rid of that. So the question mark didn't work for us. So let's put a big old if statement around this. If my schedule, that's not my schedule. My schedule state does not equal null. Do this thing. One of those and another one of these. Right, we need to put that right up against the deal. Yep. Okay. So the for each statement should be inside like that. And I don't need that because I'm right up against that. So hopefully it works. What do we got here? Or a pirate sloth. They don't know about Fritz the pirate. They've seen me briefly with the pirate hat. It's a sloth in a ninja bear costume. It's small. It's really small. Right? Oh, thanks so much, Clinton. Appreciate you stopping by. Look at that. It looks hideous. Oh, gosh. We'll fix that. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you stopping by. You're a great member of our community, Clinton. Thank you very, very much. So I put those day views right next to each other, and instead of them being next to each other, they're not. Hey, there we go. Yep, the about, and you see that picture of me with the, right? From a time gone by. Back when I worked for Telerik. So. Alright. We need to figure out how to put these side by side. What'd you do? You mean... Where'd it go? I've got them here.
What'd you do?
They aren't in line next to each other. These components, this class day view, isn't... You know what? We can change this. It's a CSS change. We can make that change and just refresh. Right? Day view. Display grid. But that's inside the thing, you know? Right? And then we're going to clean this up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So these things should be, right? What's outside? No. Yeah, it's the day view object here. Should be like an inline grid. But it's not. The views are stacked. You're right. You're right. Divs, they'll get you every time.
People know me.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do with this now?
You're about to get a serious beatdown.
Serious beatdown. Serious. I'm not going to be able to change this easily. Let's back up. Back up. I can't put a class on this. Right? I can't do like that. Maybe I can. Can I do something like this and say inline grid? Display inline grid like that? Would it be that simple? No, it can't be that simple. I mean, of course the views are stacked. They're stacked. But maybe. Maybe? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Why can't you do that in the CSS? I will do that in the CSS. I'm breaking things first. Drat. Alright, fine. We'll get rid of those things. It's doing all of them at the same time. That's pretty cool. So if I go over here, right, this is the ins. I need like a day view container here or something, right? Or I modify my layout over here, not there. Here. So I put a div around each one of these so I can make them, right? Maybe I do it with a span. Why am I doing it this way? Can I just do this? No. Will that work? If day view is top, is justify a line for the div above. Having to rebuild every time you change your file seems quite frustrating. There's no hot reload. Kyorex, we're in a very preview version of this tool set. There is hot reload for ASP.NET, but this that's compiling into these components doesn't have hot reload. So we're just early into it. It is broken, yes. It's coming. So. Yeah, the number of followers reported over there and the number of followers I see on my gauge over here are not the same. So that didn't work either. Okay. So what if we did this? Let's tinker with this before we get too far down the line here. You know what I mean? So if we take a look at the elements container, I don't want to do that. Just grab one of these. Thank you. Step up out of it. There it is. There's the day view right there, and my span that I tried to solve this with. So if this is, can I make these? Right? Can I say display inline? Well, it'll be inline table. Ooh. Inline grid. Ah, maybe that'll work. And if I put that on this one here, do the same deal. Thank you for the follow, Money Montano. Thanks so much. I appreciate you joining us. Plus, this is preview 5 bits because of the Postgres. Yes. Yeah. So we're in a little bit of a funk here. That looks like it's working. I also want to specify, I want to force the width of these things too, right? So if I say width 200 pixels, see, that works, right? If I did that also on here, right? Come here. I'm clicking already. Why I oughta. So that does work. It's not great, but it works. Do I need the span though still? Party on, Money Manto. Money. Oh.
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Party on, Money Manto. There we go. I said it right. All right.
You can do it!
I can. I said it right that time. You know? Put them in a flex container with space between. Could do that too. Could do that. I like putting the inline grid on this. And forcing a width on them too. But it's specific to this page. you know? So let's do this. So let's update our layout, right? So let's call this week view. So then we can go into our CSS. You're not going to collapse everything up for me? You should feel shame. Week view, right? There it is. Oh, it's all lowercase. Fine, we'll stick with the lowercase syntax here. Okay. So I'll say week view dot day view. So now I've got a reference only when they're inside of one of these. Now I'll force it to inline grid and width. For now, I'll just force it to 200 pixels just so we can get them appearing next to each other and better. We can set them up as a flex container later. Now that we have a reference to what week view is. And because my CSS is weak, so weak. No respect from those Muppets. Hey, Vile. There we go. So they're laid out. Well, they're not. Oh, it's too wide. It's too wide, so it wrapped. Look at that. That's interesting. Okay. So now I can come back over here. Change that, and now it updates and it fits. That last PM falls out the bottom there. Ah, CSS. But you can see the entire week going across, and that's just the start of what we're trying to get done here. But I can see the entire schedule. Now I've got my layout. So my next piece that I have to build is I need to pass the schedule in and how we want to represent it on each one of these. That, and putting that templating capability is going to be very interesting. That 150 pixels, though, I feel like is wrong, because then I'm going to run into this. Right? Maybe it's not 150 pixels. Maybe it's, right, like 15 EM, something like that. That's, maybe it's 10 field, no, 10's still too many. 8? 8's too small. 9, all right, 9 works. So then as this shrinks, it still wraps and it looks ugly. Part of me feels like then, you know what, let's force it to, let's go back to 150 pixels. Right, and let's put a scroller on the bottom. Let's make this week view, right? We could do week view, right, overflow X. Yeah, scroll. Right, so now, see, why is it scrolling on the Y, but not the X? Auto. No. Overflow. Welcome to CSS hell. Yes. Code for reasonable limits. Yes. Who's going to have a 150 pixel window and blame designers for the UI instability? Well, you got a good point there. You do have a very good point there. Can you share a link to a UX example? Asks Nalaj. Sure. How are you doing? You have seen my C# Fritz channel. Yes. I'm right here. Cool stream building HTML CSS view across employee schedules. Thank you. You're going to design arts for my stream. Okay. Thank you. Now the overflow Y hidden, right? So that it just goes away. But I want that side to side scroll to work. See, look, it's still wrapping. I don't want it to wrap, but it's because it's inline grid. Oh, yes. User in your face. I've seen that in Alage. Yes. It's a pain. It's such a pain. No, I want that to always be the same, the full width there, right? So if I force this, right, to be min width, right? So 150 times 7 is, what's 150 times 7? Somebody do the math real quick. Thank you, 1050. Well done. So let's make that, there's a little bit of space in between, let's make it 1200. Right? Sound good? I like it. Way to go, team. Well, that's too much. Right, and if I shrink this down, well, that didn't help either. Let's make that 1100. Maybe we make that max width. How do we tell it then no wrap? What is it? Right, the no wrap? There's a thing for that. Right, do we tell this height is, what is it, 500 pixels or something like that? Right. So then, I'll see that. But didn't scroll that one. Wrap none is there. Go back to 1050. I will go back to 1050. Just for you, Mark. Just for Ultra Mark. Right, if I make that a thing like that, maybe I just make it width? Or do I make that max width? Nah, look, it wraps. If I make that min width, right? 1050 is just not quite enough. But if I make it the 1100, it's there. So, yeah, what I eventually also want to be able to do is I want to be able to open these up so that we can create, and this is something that I think is going to be a really fun project to do with an IoT device, is turn one of these into a schedule view that appears on a display that has a Raspberry Pi mounted on it that gets updated at the facility with here's the schedule and shows here's the resources. In this case, here's the horse that's going out on a lesson at this time. And folks being able to see that automatically updated when they come in the morning and they turn on the Raspberry Pi. I don't think it's a wrap on this, though. Flex wrap, initial letter wrap, overflow wrap. I don't want any. What's unset say? If the cascaded value of property is the unset, then it is an inherited property. No, that's not what I want. Normal, no. Initial. What's normal? Did someone say IoT? Yes, and I happen to know somebody that we're going to have on the show that might be interested in doing a little IoT together. Okay, so it didn't wrap? But I want this to scroll, you know? So maybe if I get rid of that one. Nope, it wrapped. No, I don't want to do that. I want it to overflow these, but... And if I just change this to inline, that's so wrong. That works, but how do I get each one of these? How do I get each one of them to sit next to each other nicely? Maybe weak view width equals 90 VW and day view display grid with a min width of 150 pixels. Ultra Mark. IoT people, they don't ping, they MQTT. See what he did there? That's a queuing technology. Okay, never mind. Are they a table? No. If inline is wrong, then I don't want to be right. Oh, we're so close. I'd love to get that scroll to work. It's the okay. So hang on. Let's look at this again. Here, so we have that div, and we have these spans around it. Maybe. Go back over here. Do that. Huh? That did nothing. No, if we make the span inline. Ah, look at that. It did nothing. It really did nothing. Oh, that was terrible. Jeff, bad idea. What if we made the span? What if we made the span inline block? Right? But if we made day view, maybe Bootstrap can help out, Sean's suggesting. Maybe. But nobody likes Bootstrap. Bootstrap's for CSS newbies. Never mind I am, but hey. Maybe we do that. Maybe we just get rid of that. It's not directly underneath of it. No, that doesn't work either. What are you doing, Jeff? What exactly are we trying to do? Hey, Eric, too. So we have these elements here that have schedules for each one of the days of the week. We want to have them next to each other such that when we compress like this, when we squeeze our browser, they go from being side by side to the scroll bar here gets lit up. The overflow triggers. Now we have the overflow X turned on to scroll. We could turn that to auto, and I've set a height to 400. This could probably be somewhere around 300 or something like that, so it gets a little closer. Maybe 350. I don't know. Right? And this probably needs to be a number of EMs equivalent to the height, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so what we're trying to do then is, right, get this to compress. Great, you got a Flexbox tutorial there for me. Right? I don't want it to compress. I want them to I want to get a scroll bar to appear beneath them. Like, the Flexbox is going to be great to get them to float and align properly, but I want Django? Why are we saying Django here? We playing Jenga? We're not using Python here. We're just trying to do some CSS and HTML. Yeah, I know it's a Python framework. Well, why'd you bring up the Python framework? We're not working on that here. This is where I'd be aiming for media queries. Yeah, that's one thing. That's definitely one thing. There was a suggestion about Bootstrap, taking a look at Bootstrap and using Flex from there. Align content. Yeah, see. I am confused. Rather than just wrap, why not just have the section fixed and force horizontal? How do you do that? Fix it and enable the horizontal scrolling. How so? Looking at something here. Let's think this through. So, if we have the section fixed, right? So if we say that the minimum width is that, we get rid of these overflows, right? Refresh that. So the overflow goes away, and right, that's just how it looks. And if you, then you end up scrolling down here. So I guess that works. What does the HTML look like? It looks amazing. Right, so I have a day view object inside of a span, inside of a week view. That's what I've named it. And we have our grids in columns here so that we can lay out that view. Okay. Yeah, that's about time here. I need to start wrapping up. Yeah, but I've got the view refactored so that we can separate it out like this. We can start looking at putting templates into these objects for what each one of the elements should look like. And I think that's a good place to pick up on Thursday. And we can also do a little research on the CSS between now and then as well. So, let me do this. I'm going to stop for right now. It's not broken. It's working in a way that I think is moving in the right direction. Let me just run a quick git status here. Yep. I'm going to commit this real quick. Let's see. Where's my stop button? There's my stop button. And let's bring up Mario. All right, let's close this up. Refactoring day view so that we can make a manager schedule view. Fantastic. I will sign my commit here. There we go. Rats. I didn't add in the two files that we added. I'm going to commit and amend. I spelled amend wrong. Fantastic. There it is. I'll push that into my local repository. There we go. And just so that everybody can see it and work with it, I'm going to go over here to code, and I should get, there it is. I'm going to do a quick pull request so that it gets merged into, not into master, but into the feature branch that we're working on over here in the shared repository. So everybody can take a look at this. Let's say adding manager schedule view. So everybody can see that and work with it. So we're going to create that. You can see all my changes here. And I can merge that request. I can even squash and merge. For right now, I'm going to merge it so that you get all the ugliness in the feature branch. When we merge into dev, when we release this feature, we'll turn on, we'll squash everything down so you get one commit going in there. Thanks so much, Carrie. I really appreciate those kind words about the stream. You think I need a fixed width container inside of a scrollable container? Yeah, right? You need multiple containers there, which gets a little funky. Fantastic and happy. I think so. Let me check in here. Let's see. I believe we have another code stream out there that we might raid that might be a little bit fun. Somebody who's not quite in our community, but is trying to ramp up here. This is, you know what? I can't hear. Let me see if, let's see what she's doing here. I don't think she has her sound on right because I can't hear her. No. Please stop wrapping divs and spans. I kind of agree with you, Nalash. It didn't feel right to be doing that at all. Yeah, her sound isn't on. I'm going to have to pass her up. Let's see here. You know, it might be fun to raid. I think it's the right thing to do. Let's raid a game developer tonight. We're going to set up and we're going to send folks over to go see Lana Lux. Lana's another one of the live coders, so let me put out the raid call there. There's the raid call. Great. If you're a subscriber, that's great. Grab the first line of text out of that message the Fritzbot just shared. If you're not, that's okay. Grab the second line of text. And we're going to set up and raid Lana Lux. She's working on a game that's intended for mature audiences, so you've been warned in the crossover. She's working in Unity. She's working a little bit with some model building, writing some code, building her next game that she's releasing to the Steam store. And of course, like I said, she's another developer here on the Live Coders channel. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. My guest will be Javier Lozano, and we're going to migrate the .NET Conf website to ASP.NET Core. We'll see you then. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. Say hi to Lana, and yeah, take care.